Commander Zara Vex stood at the viewing portal of her massive ship, the Starclaw. Her seven-fingered hand rested against the clear barrier that separated her from the cold vacuum of space. Below her floated a blue and green planet called Earth. Her purple lips curved into a smile that showed her sharp teeth. "Another world for my collection," she said to herself. Zara had led the Netharian armada to victory 17 times. 17 worlds now bowed to her people. Earth would be number 18. The reports from her spy drones showed that humans had weak weapons and armies that did not work well together. They would fall easily, just like all the others. The ship's computer beeped. Zara turned from the view of Earth and walked to her command chair. Her long legs carried her gracefully across the metal floor. Her skin shimmered with blue and purple, tones under the ship's lights. "Report," she ordered. The face of her second-in-command, Officer Krell, appeared on the screen. "Commander, the scout team has not reported back. They are 3 hours late." Zara frowned. This was unusual. Her scouts were the best in the armada. They never missed a check-in time. "Perhaps their equipment failed," she said, but she did not. Believe it. Netharian technology did not simply fail. "What are your orders, Commander?" Krell asked. Zara thought for a moment. She could send another team, but if something had happened to the first group, the same might happen again. No, she needed to see this for herself. "Prepare my personal shuttle," she ordered. "I will investigate." "Commander, is that wise?" Krell's face showed concern. "Are you questioning my decision?" Zara's voice turned cold. "No, Commander. The shuttle will be ready in 10 minutes. The screen went dark. Zara walked to her weapons, wall, and selected her favorite plasma rifle. She added a stun baton to her belt and slipped into her battle armor. The armor hugged her tall form and powered up with a soft hum. Blue lights glowed along its black surface. 20 minutes later, Zara's shuttle broke through Earth's atmosphere. The cloaking system kept it hidden from human radar. She aimed for the last known location of her scout team, a place called the Rocky Mountains near a human military base. The shuttle landed silently in a small clearing surrounded by tall green trees. Zara stepped out, her armor adjusting to Earth's gravity. She breathed in the planet's air. It was rich with oxygen, almost sweet compared to her homeworld's thin atmosphere. She activated her scanner and followed the signal of her lost team. Their tracks led toward the military base. Had they been captured? Impossible. Their cloaking technology should have kept them hidden. Zara moved quietly through the forest, her armor making her almost invisible. The base came into view, a collection of gray buildings surrounded by a tall fence. Humans in green uniforms walked between the structures, carrying primitive projectile weapons. Her scanner beeped. The scout team's last signal came from inside the largest building. Zara needed to get in, find her team, and get out. A simple mission. She waited until night fell. Then she cut through the fence and slipped past the human guards. Their security systems were primitive. They did not detect her as she made her way to the main building. The door had an electronic lock. Zara attached a small device to it. The lock clicked open in seconds. She entered a long hallway lit with harsh white lights. "Too easy," she whispered. Then she heard footsteps. A human was coming around the corner. Zara pressed herself against the wall, her cloaking technology making her blend into the surroundings. A female human walked past. She wore the same green uniform as the others, but with extra markings on the shoulders. She carried no visible weapon. Zara waited for her to pass, but the human stopped. She turned slowly and looked directly at where Zara stood. "I know you're there," the human said. "Our new sensors detected your ship landing." "Impossible. No human technology should be able to detect Netharian cloaking." Zara decided to show herself. She stepped away from the wall and deactivated her cloak. The human's eyes widened slightly at the sight of her but showed no fear. "I am Lieutenant Olivia Summers," the human said. "And you're trespassing on a secure military facility." Zara raised her plasma rifle. "Where is my scout team?" "If you mean the 4 others like you who tried to break in last night, they're in custody," Olivia said. "They're unharmed." "Release them," Zara demanded. That's not going to happen. The human's hand moved slowly toward a small device on her belt. Zara fired a warning shot. The plasma bolt hit the wall near the human's head, leaving a smoking hole in the metal. Most species would cower or run when faced with Netherian weapons. This human did neither. Instead, Olivia moved with surprising speed. She rolled to the side, pulled the device from her belt, and threw it at Zara. The device hit Zara's armor and released a pulse of energy that temporarily disrupted her systems. Zara stumbled back, shocked. Her armor had never been compromised before. The human had technology that could affect Netherian systems? This was not in any of her reports. She fired again, but Olivia was already moving. The human ducked into a side room. Zara followed, determined to capture this unusually prepared human. The room was dark. Zara activated her night vision. Too late. She realized it was a trap. A bright flash filled the room, overloading her vision enhancement. Temporarily blinded, she felt something sharp pierce the gap in her armor at the shoulder joint. Pain. Actual pain. Zara hissed and swung her stun baton blindly. She heard the human grunt as the baton made contact, but it was a glancing blow. As her vision cleared, Zara saw Olivia crouched in a fighting stance, holding a strange-looking knife that glowed blue. At the edges, blood, Zara's own dark blue blood, dripped from the blade. "You're bleeding," Olivia said. "So you can be hurt." No one had made Zara bleed in combat for over a century. Anger mixed with a new feeling, uncertainty. An alarm began to sound. More humans would come soon. "This isn't over," Zara growled. She activated her emergency teleport. As her body began to dissolve into particles for transport back to her shuttle, she locked eyes with the human. Olivia Summers smiled. It wasn't a smile of fear or respect. It was the smile of a hunter who had just found interesting prey. Back on her shuttle, Zara tended to her wound. It was small but deep. The human's knife had somehow penetrated her advanced armor. This should not be possible. As her shuttle lifted off and returned to the Starclaw, Zara accessed the ship's database. She needed to know everything about human combat techniques. She had clearly underestimated their basic capabilities. "Computer, show me all records of human warfare," she ordered. Hours of footage played before her, humans fighting each other through the centuries. Their methods were often brutal, sometimes clever, always adaptable. "They learn quickly," she muttered. Perhaps this conquest would not be as simple as she had thought, but Zara had never failed. She had never been defeated. She would return. She would capture this human, Olivia Summers, and study her. Then she would know how to defeat all of them. Zara looked at the small vial of blood she had collected from her wound, a reminder that today, for the first time in a very long time, someone had surprised her. "Enjoy your small victory, human," she said to the empty shuttle. "It will be your last." 3 days had passed since Commander Zara Vex's encounter with the human called Olivia Summers. The wound on Zara's shoulder had healed, but her pride had not. She paced the command deck of the Starclaw, her long fingers tapping against her thigh. "Commander, the elite squad is ready," Officer Krell announced from the doorway. Zara nodded. She had selected her 5 best warriors for this mission. They would capture the human female and bring her back for study. Zara needed to understand how this primitive species had technology that could detect Netherian cloaking and penetrate their armor. "Show them in," she ordered. The warriors entered, each standing over 7 feet tall like Zara. Their armor was black with red markings to show their elite status. They had each conquered at least 3 worlds for the Netherian Empire. "Your mission is simple," Zara told them. "Capture the human female officer and bring her to me alive and unhurt. She is at the mountain base where we lost our scout team." "A single human should not be difficult, Commander," said the squad leader. Zara's eyes narrowed. "Do not underestimate her. She wounded me." The warriors exchanged glances. No one had wounded Commander Zara Vex in battle for over 100 years. "We will not fail you," Drav promised. "See that you don't." Zara dismissed them with a wave of her hand. As the squad left for their shuttle, Krell approached Zara. Commander, forgive me, but is this wise? We could simply destroy the human base from orbit. Zara shook her head. No. There is something different about these humans. They have technology they should not have. Before we invade, I need to know how they got it and what else they might be hiding. Krell bowed and left Zara alone with her thoughts. The elite squad's shuttle descended to Earth under cover of night. Zara watched their progress from her command screen. Each warrior wore a camera that transmitted back to the Starclaw. They landed 3 miles from the human base and proceeded on foot, their cloaking technology activated. The plan was simple. Enter the base, find Olivia Summers, sedate her, and return to the shuttle. Zara watched as they cut through the fence just as she had done. Their movements were silent and practiced. They had done this many times on many worlds. The warriors split up to search the buildings. Drav headed for the officers' quarters where Olivia would likely be sleeping. Too easy, Drav whispered through the comm link. His words echoed what Zara had thought during her own mission. She felt a twinge of worry. Drav reached the officers' quarters and checked the names on the doors. He found Latino Summers and carefully opened the door. The room was empty. The bed was made, untouched. She's not here, Drav reported. Check the other buildings, Zara ordered. The warriors searched the entire base but found no sign of Olivia Summers. Commander, the human is not on the base, Drav reported. Zara frowned. Had the human been transferred? Was this a coincidence? Or had they somehow known the Netherians would return? Complete the mission, Zara ordered. Search their computer systems. Find out where she went. Drav entered what appeared to be the command center of the base. He connected a small device to the human computer terminal. Netherian technology easily broke through the primitive security. Commander, I'm downloading their files now, Drav said. Suddenly, alarms blared throughout the base. Red lights flashed. What happened? Zara demanded. I don't know, Commander, Drav replied, his voice tense. The system was secure. There was no... His voice cut off as gunfire erupted. Zara watched through the camera as Drav ducked behind the terminal. The other warriors reported similar situations. They were under attack from all sides. It's a trap, Zara realized too late. On her screen, she saw human soldiers pouring into the rooms where her warriors were. But these weren't ordinary soldiers. They wore armor that glowed with blue light at the edges, similar to the knife that had wounded Zara. Their weapons fired projectiles that seemed to track the Netherians despite their cloaking. One by one, the warrior cameras went dark as they fell. Drav was the last one standing. He had barricaded himself in the command center. His breathing was heavy, and dark blue blood dripped from a wound in his leg. Commander, they knew we were coming, he gasped. They have technology that can see through our cloaking. The door to the command center burst open. Drav raised his weapon, but before he could fire, a small object rolled across the floor. It released a pulse of energy that disabled his armor systems. A figure walked into the room. Zara leaned forward as the camera focused on the face of Lieutenant Olivia Summers. Tell your commander I got her message, Olivia said directly to Drav's camera. She seemed to know she was being watched. And if she wants to talk, she should come herself, not send her soldiers to kidnap me. Drav tried to lunge at her, but more human soldiers entered the room and subdued him. Olivia leaned close to Drav's camera. We've been studying your technology since we captured your scout team. Interesting stuff. Thanks for the upgrades. The camera went dark. Zara slammed her fist onto the control panel. The entire mission had been a failure. Worse, it had been a trap. The humans had used Netherian technology against them. Krell, she shouted. Her second-in-command rushed onto the bridge. Prepare my shuttle. I'm going down there myself. Commander, all due respect, but that's exactly what the human wants. Yes. Zara's eyes gleamed with anger and something else. Respect. And I intend to give her what she wants. Before Krell could argue further, a transmission came through. On the main screen, the face of Olivia Summers appeared, looking directly at Zara. Commander Vex, I presume, Olivia said. I figured out how to use your communication system. Hope you don't mind. Zara stared in disbelief. The human had not only defeated her elite squad but had also hacked into Netherian communications. "Release my warriors," Zara demanded. "They're alive, which is more than I can say for some of my people who were injured when your first team came," Olivia replied. "But we need to talk. Your invasion isn't going to work." "You know nothing of our capabilities," Zara said. Olivia smiled. It was the same hunter's smile Zara had seen before. "I know enough, and I know you're curious about us, or you wouldn't have tried to capture me instead of just bombing our base." She was right, and that irritated Zara more. "What do you propose?" Zara asked. "A meeting. Just you and me. No weapons. No soldiers." "Why would I agree to that?" "Because you want to know how humans managed to adapt your technology so quickly, and because if you don't come to talk, we'll reverse engineer every piece of equipment we've captured and share it with every military on Earth. Your invasion will cost you more than you're willing to pay." It was a bluff. It had to be. Humans couldn't possibly understand Netherian technology well enough to reproduce it. And yet, they had detected the cloaking systems and created weapons that could penetrate Netherian armor. "Where and when?" Zara asked. "There's a plateau 10 miles north of here, tomorrow at dawn. Come alone." The transmission ended. Krell looked at Zara with concern. "Commander, this is clearly a trap." "Of course it is," Zara said, "but not the kind you're thinking of." She pulled up images from her warriors' cameras before they were captured. The human soldiers wore modified armor with pieces of Netherian technology attached. They had taken parts from the captured scout team and repurposed them. "Do you see it, Krell?" Zara asked. "They've stolen our technology," he replied. "No, they've improved it." Zara zoomed in on one soldier's weapon. "This design, they've combined their projectile weapons with our energy systems in a way we never considered. They didn't just copy our technology, they evolved it." For the first time in her conquering career, Zara felt a flutter of doubt. These humans were different. They adapted quickly, improvised constantly, and showed a determination that bordered on suicidal yet somehow succeeded. "What will you do, Commander?" Krell asked. Zara stared at the frozen image of Olivia Summers on the screen. "I will meet her. I will learn how these humans think. And then I will decide if this world is worth conquering or if it would be better to burn it from orbit." Reports from other scout teams began to come in from around the planet. All reported similar resistance from humans worldwide. Earth's militaries had somehow shared information about the Netherian presence and were preparing defenses. This wasn't in any of their intelligence briefings. Earth was supposed to be divided, easy to conquer through divide-and-conquer tactics. Instead, they seemed to be uniting against a common threat. Zara had conquered 17 worlds, but she had never encountered a species that could adapt so quickly to Netherian technology. This would not be an easy victory. As she prepared for the meeting with Olivia Summers, Zara found herself looking forward to it with an unfamiliar feeling, anticipation mixed with uncertainty. "Perhaps," she said to herself, "this human has more to teach me than I expected." Dawn broke over the Rocky Mountains, painting the sky in shades of orange and pink. Commander Zara Vex's shuttle descended toward the plateau where she had agreed to meet Lieutenant Olivia Summers. The mountain air was crisp and cold, causing small clouds of vapor to form with each breath. Zara had spent the night studying every piece of information the Netherian database had on humans. Their history was filled with war, yet also with remarkable achievements in art, science, and technology. They were a contradictory species, capable of great cruelty and great kindness, often within the same individual. The shuttle landed on the rocky surface. Zara checked her armor one last time. She had brought her newest model, reinforced after analyzing how Olivia's knife had penetrated the previous version. The armor gleamed black in the morning light, with blue energy pulsing along its seams. "Commander, are you certain about this?" Officer Krell's voice came through her comlink. "We could still deploy the fleet and begin the invasion." "Not yet," Zara replied. "First, I need to understand what we're facing." She stepped out of the shuttle and scanned the plateau. It was empty except for a few large boulders and sparse vegetation. The perfect place for a meeting, or a trap. A sound caught her attention. A small vehicle approached from the south, raising dust as it moved across the rocky terrain. It stopped 100 yards away and a single figure emerged. Lieutenant Olivia Summers wore simple combat fatigues, not the modified armor Zara had seen in the base. She carried no visible weapons. Her red hair was pulled back in a tight bun, and her face showed no fear as she walked toward the alien commander. Zara moved forward to meet her in the middle of the plateau. Up close, the human was small, barely reaching Zara's shoulder. Yet there was something in her stance that suggested strength beyond her size. "Commander Vex," Olivia said with a slight nod. "Lieutenant Summers," Zara replied. "You have something that belongs to me, my warriors. And you have something that belongs to us, our planet." Olivia's green eyes were steady. "But we're not here to exchange prisoners, are we? You want to know how we were able to adapt your technology?" Zara's lips twitched. The human was direct. "Yes. And I want to know why you're really here. Your kind doesn't seem the type to share planets peacefully." "We're not," Zara admitted. "The Netherian Empire expands. That is our way. Through conquest. Through strength," Zara corrected. "The strong survive. The weak submit. It is the natural order of things." Olivia smiled slightly. "That's an old idea on Earth too. But we've found it's not always true. Sometimes the strong can learn from the weak." "Is that why you asked for this meeting? To teach me?" Zara's tone was mocking. "I asked for this meeting to understand what we're up against," Olivia said, "and to offer you a chance to reconsider your invasion." Zara laughed. "You have courage, human. But courage alone will not save your world." "No," Olivia agreed. "But this might." She pulled something from her pocket, a small device that looked like a remote control. She pressed a button, and suddenly the air around the plateau shimmered. Zara's scanner beeped a warning. Energy readings were spiking all around them. "What is this?" Zara demanded. "A demonstration," Olivia said calmly. "We've placed energy shield generators around this plateau. The technology is based on your ship's shields, but we've modified it. Right now, nothing can get in or out, not even your shuttle's teleport system." Zara checked her scanner. The human was right. They were enclosed in an energy bubble that matched Netherian shield technology, but with modifications she didn't recognize. "Impressive," Zara admitted. "You learned this from the equipment you captured?" "We learn fast," Olivia said. "It's what humans do best. We adapt." "So do Netherians," Zara replied. She activated her armor's offensive systems. Blue energy gathered around her fists. "But adaptation takes time. You don't have time." Without warning, Zara lunged forward, swinging her energized fist toward Olivia's head. To her surprise, the human dodged with remarkable speed, rolling to the side and coming up in a fighting stance. "I thought we said no weapons," Olivia remarked. "My body is a weapon," Zara replied. "As I suspect yours is too." Olivia smiled that hunter's smile again. "You want to fight? Fine, let's fight." She pulled a small cylinder from her boot. With a flick of her wrist, it extended into a staff that glowed with the same blue energy as Zara's armor. "Our scientists reverse-engineered the energy core from your scout's weapons," Olivia explained. "Impressive power source," Zara charged, again this time more cautiously. Her armored fist connected with Olivia's staff, sending sparks of energy cascading around them. The human was stronger than she looked, bracing against the impact rather than being thrown back. The fight began in earnest. Zara had the advantages of size, strength, and advanced armor. She moved with the confidence of a warrior who had conquered worlds. Her attacks were precise, powerful, following patterns that had defeated countless opponents. But Olivia was different. She didn't fight like any opponent Zara had faced before. There was no recognizable style or pattern to her movements. She seemed to switch techniques mid-fight, combining various fighting styles in unpredictable ways. When Zara attacked high, Olivia went low. When Zara expected a dodge, Olivia blocked instead. The human kept changing her approach, never repeating the same defense twice. 5 minutes into the fight, Zara landed a solid blow that sent Olivia skidding across the rocky ground. The human rolled to her feet, bleeding from a cut on her cheek. "You can't win this," Zara said. "Your adaptability is impressive, but it can't overcome superior strength and technology." Olivia wiped blood from her face. "Maybe not. But I can. Learn from each hit you land." She shifted her stance. Now she held her staff differently, more like a spear than a club. Zara recognized the adjustment. Olivia was adapting to Zara's longer reach. They clashed again. This time, Olivia moved differently, staying just at the edge of Zara's range. She didn't try to match Zara's power but used quick strikes and retreats, probing for weaknesses. And she found one. A slight delay in Zara's left side attacks due to the previous shoulder wound. Olivia exploited it, landing a strike on Zara's armor that made the energy flicker. Frustrated, Zara increased the power to her armor. Blue energy crackled around her as she launched a series of devastating attacks. Olivia couldn't dodge them all. A blow caught her in the ribs, sending her tumbling across the plateau. She lay still for a moment, gasping for breath. Zara approached, slowly, certain the fight was over. "You fought well for a human. But this demonstration has only proven what I already knew. Your species cannot stand against mine." Olivia struggled to her feet, clutching her side. "You're right about one thing. I can't beat you with strength alone." She pressed a button on her staff. The blue energy changed to a pulsing red. Before Zara could react, Olivia jabbed the staff against Zara's armor. The effect was immediate. Zara's armor systems flickered and shut down, leaving her in what amounted to heavy, non-powered plating. "What did you do?" Zara demanded, trying to restart her armor. "Disruption pulse," Olivia explained, keeping her distance. "Based on the energy signature from your own weapons. We found that if you reverse the polarity and match the frequency exactly, it creates a feedback loop that temporarily disables your systems." Zara's eyes widened in surprise. This was advanced weapons theory, concepts that had taken Netherian scientists decades to develop. Yet these humans had figured it out in days. Without her powered armor, Zara was still strong, but her movements were slower, more labored. Olivia pressed her advantage, using quick strikes to find gaps in the armor. One strike slipped through, connecting with Zara's arm. Pain flared as the staff's energy penetrated her skin. For the second time, this human had made her bleed. Anger flared within Zara. She caught the staff on Olivia's next attack and yanked it from her hands, snapping it in half. Then she charged, using her superior size to tackle the human to the ground. They rolled across the rocky surface, Zara trying to pin Olivia down. But the human was slippery, using leverage and momentum rather than strength. She managed to break free and create distance between them. Both fighters were breathing hard now. Zara's armor was damaged and Olivia was clearly injured, favoring her right side. "I underestimated you again," Zara admitted. "Most people do," Olivia replied. "It's a human thing. We look weak compared to species like yours, but we've spent our entire history fighting each other and surviving against the odds." Zara studied the human with new eyes. There was something here she hadn't seen before. A way of thinking that was fundamentally different from Netherian military doctrine. "You don't fight like a trained warrior," Zara observed. "Your techniques are chaotic." "Adaptive," Olivia corrected. "We learn as we fight. Every blow you land teaches me something about how you move, how you think." A terrifying realization dawned on Zara. These humans didn't just adapt their technology, they adapted their very fighting styles in the middle of combat. Netherians were trained in specific combat forms, perfected over centuries. But these humans seemed to improvise constantly, creating new approaches on the fly. While Zara had been analyzing this, Olivia had retrieved half of her broken staff. It still glowed with energy at one end. The Netherian shuttle shot through the clouds, evading the human aircraft that pursued them. Inside, Commander Zara Vex worked the controls with practiced ease, while Lieutenant Olivia Summers stood behind her, gripping a support bar to stay upright. "Your people seem eager to shoot down their own officer," Zara remarked as she executed a sharp turn that sent Olivia stumbling. "Those aren't my people," Olivia replied, regaining her balance. "At least not from my chain of command. Someone else doesn't want us talking." Zara's comm link crackled. "Commander, what is your status?" It was Krell's voice from the Starclaw. "Returning to ship with a guest," Zara replied. "Prepare medical, bay and increase shield strength." There was a pause. "A guest, Commander?" "The human officer. She's coming with me." Another pause, longer this time. "Understood, Commander." Olivia raised an eyebrow. "Your second in command doesn't sound happy." "Krell believes in the old ways," Zara said, adjusting the shuttle's course. "Conquer or destroy, no middle ground." "And you don't?" Zara glanced back at the human. "I believe in understanding my enemy before I decide whether to conquer or destroy them." The pursuing aircraft fired missiles. Zara activated the shuttle's defensive systems, and energy beams shot out, destroying the missiles before they could reach the shuttle. "They're persistent," Zara noted. Olivia moved to the co-pilot seat and strapped herself in. "Let me use your communication system. I need to contact my commanding officer." Zara hesitated, then nodded toward the console. The green panel. Olivia quickly figured out the alien technology and sent a coded message. Moments later, a response came through. "It's Commander Samantha Taylor," Olivia explained. "My superior officer. She says the aircraft attacking us are from a private military corporation called Blackstone Defense. They've gone rogue." "Why would they attack you?" Zara asked. "Because they don't want peace," Olivia said grimly. "They've been preparing for alien invasion for decades. It's how they get their funding. An actual alien showing up is good for business as long as you remain a threat." The shuttle broke through the atmosphere into space. The massive form of the Starclaw loomed ahead, its dark hull gleaming against the backdrop of stars. "That's your ship?" Olivia's voice held a mix of awe and concern. "The flagship of the Netherian Armada," Zara confirmed. "And soon you'll be the first human to set foot on it." "Lucky me," Olivia muttered. The shuttle approached the Starclaw's docking bay. As they neared, Zara noticed something strange. The bay doors were slow to open, and when they did, no landing lights guided them in. "Something's wrong," she said, slowing the shuttle. Her comlink activated. "Commander, do not approach the ship." It was Krell, his voice urgent. "There's been a mutiny." "Explain," Zara demanded, bringing the shuttle to a halt just outside the docking bay. "Officer Draz has taken control of the bridge. He says your defeat by the human proves you're unfit to command. Half the crew supports him." Zara's purple skin darkened with anger. "And the other half?" "Awaiting your orders, Commander." Olivia leaned forward. "Your ship has weapons pointed at us." Sure enough, several of the Starclaw's smaller turrets had swiveled to target the shuttle. "Krell, can you disable those weapons?" Zara asked. "Negative. Commander, Draz has locked us out of weapons control." The comlink suddenly filled with a new voice. "Commander Vex, this is Officer Draz. Return to the ship alone and surrender your command, or we will destroy your shuttle with you and the human inside it." Zara looked at Olivia, who was remarkably calm given the circumstances. "Your officer." "Draz sounds like he'd get along well with Blackstone Defense," Olivia commented. "He's a fool," Zara growled. "He doesn't understand what we're facing." "What are you going to do?" Olivia asked. Zara considered her options. Return and face Draz's judgment, likely execution. Try to fight her way back to command, risking civil war among her crew. Or, Krell, prepare a data package with all our intelligence on the Void Collective. Transmit it to my shuttle systems. There was a moment of silence. "Commander, are you certain?" "Do it now." While they waited, Zara turned to Olivia. "You asked earlier why we came to your planet. Conquest is part of it, yes. But we're also running from something." "Running?" Olivia frowned. "What could make a species like yours run?" Before Zara could answer, the shuttle's computer beeped. The data package had arrived. "Commander Vex, this is your final warning." Draz's voice came through the comm again. "Return alone or be destroyed." Zara ignored him and activated the shuttle's engine. Krell, gather those still loyal to me and take escape pods. Head for the coordinates I'm sending you now. Yes, Commander. Zara turned the shuttle away from the Starclaw and accelerated. They're firing, Olivia warned. Energy beams shot past them as Zara performed evasive maneuvers. The shuttle shook as one beam grazed their shield. Can we outrun them? Olivia asked. No, Zara admitted. But we can outthink them. She activated the shuttle's hyperdrive for a split-second jump, just enough to confuse the Starclaw's tracking systems. They reappeared on the other side of Earth's moon. That won't fool them for long, Zara said. We need to land. My base? Olivia suggested. Zara shook her head. Too obvious. They'll look there first. I know a place, Olivia said after a moment's thought. A research facility in the mountains. Off the grid. Minimal personnel. We can regroup there. Zara nodded and set course for Earth again. As they descended through the atmosphere, the shuttle's systems began to fail. We took more damage than I thought, Zara said, fighting with the controls. Prepare for a rough landing. The shuttle crashed into a dense forest, plowing through trees before coming to a stop in a small clearing. The impact threw both occupants forward against their restraints. Are you injured? Zara asked, checking Olivia. The human winced as she unbuckled herself. Bruised ribs from our fight earlier, now probably cracked. Nothing fatal. You? I'll heal, Zara said, though blue blood seeped from a cut on her forehead. They exited the damaged shuttle. Night had fallen, and the forest was dark, except for the glow of moonlight filtering through the trees. We're about 5 miles from the facility, Olivia said, checking a small device that looked like a compass but displayed a holographic map. We should move. Your shuttle's crash will draw attention. They set off through the forest, Zara carrying the data package from the Starclaw. Despite her injuries, Olivia moved with determination, setting a pace that Zara found surprisingly demanding given the rough terrain. Why did you say your people are running? Olivia asked as they climbed a steep hill. Zara was silent for a moment, considering how much to reveal. Have you ever heard of the Void Collective? Olivia shook her head. They're a machine intelligence, created by a species even older than mine, long extinct now. The machines decided that biological life is inefficient, unpredictable. They've been systematically eliminating all advanced biological civilizations they encounter. And they're coming here? Olivia stopped walking, turning to face Zara. They follow us, Zara admitted. The Netherian Empire expands partly out of necessity. We need resources and new worlds to stay ahead of the collective. So you conquer worlds, use them up, and move on before the machines arrive? Olivia's voice held an edge of anger. Leaving those worlds defenseless? Some worlds we evacuate, Zara said defensively. Those with species worthy of preservation. And who decides what's worthy? Zara had no answer for that. It was Netherian policy, established centuries ago. She had never questioned it. They walked in silence for a while. Finally, they reached the edge of the forest. Ahead, nestled in a valley, was a cluster of low buildings with few lights. The research facility, Olivia said. They're expecting us. As they approached, the main door opened. A woman with short gray hair stepped out, flanked by 2 guards. Lieutenant Summers, she greeted, then looked at Zara with undisguised curiosity. And you must be Commander Vex. Commander Taylor, Olivia saluted despite her injuries. Thank you for the sanctuary. Follow me, Taylor said. We have much to discuss. Inside the facility was a blend of laboratory and military installation. Scientists worked alongside soldiers, all stopping to stare as the alien commander walked past. They entered a conference room where a man in a lab coat was, studying holographic images that Zara recognized as Netherian technology, pieces from her captured scout team. Dr. Miller, our guests have arrived, Taylor announced. The scientist looked up, his eyes widening at the sight of Zara. Fascinating, he murmured. Doctor, Taylor warned. Right, sorry. He cleared his throat. I've been analyzing the technology from your scouts. Remarkable energy efficiency. But there's something else. A pattern in the communication systems. A sort of background noise that I couldn't identify. The Void Collective's tracking signal, Zara said grimly. They've been following Netherian communications for centuries. She placed the data package on the table. Everything we know about them is in here. Dr. Miller connected the alien device to his computer. Information began to flow across the screens. Images of massive machine ships, technical specifications, battle reports. My God, he whispered. These machines, they're more advanced than anything we've ever seen. More advanced than even the Netherians, Zara confirmed. We've been fighting them for generations. Always retreating, always looking for an advantage. 6 weeks had passed since Commander Zara Vex and Lieutenant Olivia Summers formed their unlikely alliance. The underground facility, codenamed Stronghold, hummed with activity as humans and Netherians worked side by side. Krell and 23, loyal Netherian crew members had made it to Earth after escaping the Starclaw. They brought valuable resources and knowledge that strengthened the alliance. Meanwhile, Officer Draz had taken the Starclaw beyond Earth's solar system, unaware that his actions were drawing the Void Collective closer. Zara stood in the command center, studying the massive holographic display that showed their solar system. Red markers indicated the approaching Void Collective fleet, 17 massive ships, each carrying thousands of machine warriors. They'll reach Earth's orbit in 3 days, Zara informed Commander Taylor, who had just entered the room. Taylor nodded grimly. How many Netherian vessels responded to your call for aid? 3, Zara replied. All that could reach us in time. Not enough to face the collective directly. We never planned to beat them with firepower anyway, Taylor reminded her. That was true. Their strategy hinged on something else entirely, something the machines could not anticipate. The door opened again, and Olivia walked in with Dr. Miller. Over the past weeks, Olivia had become the bridge between human and Netherian forces, earning respect from both sides. Her injuries from the duel with Zara had healed, leaving only a small scar on her cheek. We're ready for the final briefing, Olivia announced. Officers from Earth's United Defense Forces filed into the room, followed by Krell and the other Netherian commanders. They gathered around the holographic display, faces serious. The Void Collective will arrive in 3 days, Taylor began. They'll expect us to either surrender or mount a conventional defense. They'll be prepared for both scenarios. What they won't expect, Zara continued, is a completely irrational attack pattern based on human art forms and music rather than mathematical probabilities. Dr. Miller stepped forward. We've created attack formations based on jazz improvisation, Renaissance art compositions, and even human dance patterns. These formations follow no logical sequence that machine intelligence can predict. He displayed several strange-looking flight patterns on the hologram. To Zara, they still looked chaotic and disorganized despite weeks of studying them. But that was the point. Each squadron has been assigned a different pattern, Olivia explained. Alpha Team will follow patterns derived from Picasso paintings, Beta Team from Bach fugues, Gamma Team from West African dance movements. A human officer raised his hand. With all due respect, this sounds insane. How can we coordinate if we're all flying in different patterns? That's exactly why it will work, Zara said. The Void Collective functions on prediction and pattern recognition. Their combat systems are designed to identify standard military formations and counter them. But these patterns, she gestured to the display, these they cannot comprehend. Krell, who had initially been skeptical, nodded in agreement. We Netherians have been fighting the collective for centuries using logic and established military doctrine. We have always failed. Perhaps human irrationality is the weapon we needed. It's not irrational to us, Olivia pointed out. These patterns have meaning and structure that humans understand intuitively. That's the advantage. The briefing continued, covering each phase of the plan. Earth's combined air forces, enhanced with modified Netherian technology, would engage the collective's smaller ships using the unpredictable patterns. Meanwhile, the 3 Netherian vessels would join Earth's space-capable craft to protect the planet from orbital bombardment. But the key to their strategy was the strike team. While the chaotic air battle confused the collective's prediction, algorithms, a small team would infiltrate the collective's command ship to deliver a computer virus created by Dr. Miller and Netherian scientists. The strike team will consist of 6 members, Taylor announced. 3 humans and 3 Netherians, led by Lieutenant Summers and Commander Vex. Zara and Olivia exchanged glances. They had trained together for this mission, developing a fighting style that combined Netherian strength with human adaptability. What had begun as a duel between them had evolved into a unique combat partnership. Questions? Taylor asked. A young human pilot raised her hand. If this works, if we actually defeat the Void Collective, what happens after? Will the Netherians still try to conquer Earth? The room fell silent. It was the question many had wondered, but few had voiced. Zara stepped forward. The Netherian Empire has always expanded through conquest. That has been our way. She paused, looking around the room at the mixed assembly of humans and her own kind. But perhaps it is time for a new way. Krell looked shocked. Commander, are you suggesting an alliance instead of conquest? I am suggesting that both our species have something to learn from each other, Zara replied. Humans have shown me that adaptability can be as powerful as strength. Perhaps there is more value in alliance than in domination. Not all the Netherians looked convinced, but none challenged her openly. The immediate threat of the Void Collective overshadowed any future concerns. The next 3 days passed quickly as final preparations were made. The Netherian ships positioned themselves in Earth's orbit alongside human space stations and armed satellites. Air forces worldwide readied for battle, pilots practicing the strange new formations that felt more like art than warfare. In the IOI, pre-dawn hours of the 3rd day, long-range sensors detected the Void Collective entering the solar system. Their ships moved with perfect precision, a stark contrast to the deliberately chaotic positioning of the Earth Netherian defense forces. Zara and Olivia prepared in the hangar bay of Stronghold, checking their weapons and armor. Zara wore her commander's armor, repaired and modified with human technology to be more flexible. Olivia wore a hybrid suit that combined Netherian protection with human mobility. Are you ready? Olivia asked as they boarded the stealth shuttle that would take the strike team to the collective's command ship. I have conquered 17 worlds, Zara replied, but this will be my first time saving one. Olivia smiled. First time for everything. The strike team, consisting of Zara, Olivia, 2 Netherian warriors, a human tech specialist named Maya, and a human explosives expert named Carlos, launched as the first wave of Void Collective ships entered Earth's atmosphere. From their shuttle's viewscreen, they watched Earth's air forces rise to meet the threat. Instead of the standard formation flying that might be expected, the human aircraft moved in swirling, seemingly random patterns that nonetheless maintained perfect spacing. Jazz Squadron engaging, came the report over the comm. The squadron moved like improvising musicians, each craft responding to the others in ways that seemed spontaneous, yet harmonized. The Void Collective ships hesitated. Their usual tactic of predicting flight paths and targeting in advance was failing. The machine intelligence could not compute the next move of pilots flying based on music, rather than military doctrine. It's working, Carlos whispered, as they watched a collective ship fire and miss completely as its target moved in a pattern based on a Tchaikovsky ballet. Their shuttle slipped past the main battle, using the chaos as cover. The massive command ship of the Void Collective loomed ahead, a dark, geometrically perfect structure that reflected no light. Approaching docking port 7, the Netherian pilot reported. Their systems are overwhelmed with the battle. They haven't detected us yet. The shuttle attached to the collective ship using magnetic clamps. The strike team donned spacesuits, the humans using modified Netherian designs, and prepared to breach the hull. Remember, Zara told the team, the collective expects logical attack patterns. Move unpredictably. Think like humans. The Netherian warriors looked uncomfortable with this instruction, but nodded. They cut through the hull and entered the collective ship. Inside, corridors of perfect symmetry stretched in all directions. The air was breathable but cold. maintained for the biological specimens the machines collected and studied. "This way," Maya whispered, following the signal from her scanner. The central processing node should be 2 levels down. They moved through the ship, encountering little resistance at first. The machine intelligence was focused on the chaotic battle outside. But as they descended toward the central node, warriors began to appear, humanoid robots with multiple limbs and weapons built into their bodies. The first group attacked in a standard pattern, clearly designed to counter conventional military responses. But Zara and Olivia had trained for this. They moved in their hybrid fighting style, Zara providing power while Olivia added unpredictable changes of direction and technique. The machines couldn't adapt quickly enough. They fell before the strange combination of Netherian strength and human improvisation. "Keep moving," Olivia urged, as more machine warriors converged on their position. The team fought their way down to the second level. Carlos set charges at key structural points, creating diversions that confused the machine intelligence further. Maya worked to hack into the ship's systems, disrupting internal communications. Finally, they reached the central processing node, a massive chamber filled with pulsing light and energy. At its center stood a crystalline structure that housed the ship's main intelligence.